Hi there, welcome to Cosmic Coaching with Daniel. Today I'd like to talk to you about something known as intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting has become quite popular in recent times. It's actually an age-old practice, but it has to do with not so much your diet or the type of foods you eat or calorie counting, but more the patterns of fasting versus eating. So when you're eating your meals and when you're abstaining from eating. And so there's a number of different formats for this intermittent fasting, the most popular of which is called the 16-8. And what that refers to is for 16 hours you're fasting, not eating any solid foods, and for 8 hours you're eating meals. So for example, let's say you get up in the morning, you skip breakfast, your first meal is at 12 o'clock, and then you could eat anywhere between 12 and 8. So your last meal would be at 8 p.m. And then from there you start the fast again from 8 p.m. till 12 p.m. the next day, 16 hours off, 8 hours on. Now while you're fasting, you can drink liquids, teas, coffees, and water and juices, but you cannot have any solid food. So the idea is during that off time, your body has some extra time to go into healing mode, and there's some positive things that happen around insulin and the storing of energy and so forth. So with that said, let's look at some of the benefits of intermittent fasting. So I'm just going to cover kind of some big picture benefits, and then we'll get more specific, and then finally end off on the brain. We've got beneficial genetic and molecular changes that are associated with longevity and disease prevention. Okay, prevention of cancer, prevention of diabetes, heart disease, things of that nature. Then you've got reduced oxidative stress and inflammation. Inflammation, that's a key one, because chronic inflammation leads to diseases both in the body and the brain. So reducing inflammation is a big deal. Then you've got improvements in risk factors for heart disease and cancer, as I mentioned. Hormonal adjustments, very important benefit, has to do with releasing stored body fat. And then you've got also improved tissue and cellular repair and waste removal processes. And then finally, you've got a bunch of brain health benefits and reduced risk for various neurodegenerative diseases. So let's look at some more specific things here. What happens is you've got stabilizing insulin levels. So this can prevent diabetes. You're going to have more energy, and therefore you get more done. Lowers triglycerides, preventing cognitive decline and Alzheimer's disease, stopping sugar cravings and hunger pangs. You're boosting growth hormones. So the human growth hormone, very important for building the body. It's the master architect of the body. And also reducing diseases such as obesity. Reduces free radical damage. We know this is an aging issue with free radical damage. Some of the other things, weight and body fat loss, type 2 diabetes, that's improved, lowered blood cholesterol, potentially longer life. And we're going to get into the brain health issues here that has to do with improving mental clarity and concentration. Specifically, what we have is the brain becomes more energy efficient when you're doing intermittent fasting. The brain uses about 20 to 25% of the energy in the body. So if the brain is more energy efficient, you're going to have more mental energy throughout the day and be more clear and concise and focused and able to concentrate. We did mention inflammation, both the body and the brain. Inflammation of the brain causes neurodegenerative conditions and eventually dementia and things of that nature. Boosts in immunity, better immunity, and BDNF. This is like miracle grow for the brain, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. When you're doing intermittent fasting, you get more of this BDNF. That's great for cleansing the brain and actually impacting other hormones and just creating a more efficient brain, because you've got this different profile of growth factors working together with BDNF. So that, in a nutshell, is some of the benefits of intermittent fasting. I highly recommend it. Fasting in general is good. Going on cleanses, quarterly or once a month is awesome. But if you can do this intermittent fasting thing, some people would kind of take a day off a week. But if you can just kind of recycle your pattern of eating and abstaining from eating and condensing the eating periods into this 8 hours, then during the other 16 hours, it's kind of like the body is going through a healing process, and it's good for you in the long term. Certainly good for your brain, certainly good for preventing cognitive decline, keeping your heart in shape, and preventing things like diabetes, cancer, heart disease, and many, many other issues. Okay, so hope you find that interesting. If you'd like to get a coaching session with me, I do sessions on holistic nutrition, dietary suggestions. So I'm working specifically with using holistic nutrition and high-powered nutrients and the right types of supplements and herbs to help with optimizing your brain function. So if you'd like to set up a session with me, you can click on the link below and we can set up a brain health consultation. So until then, have yourself a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. We'll be doing many more sessions on the pillars of brain health. Cheers.